I keep saving my old foster mom's life, but she has no idea who I am. She gave me back to the state when I was 11. The paperwork said behavioral issues. What it meant was I was angry, loud, and too complicated for a quiet house with framed family photos and beige carpets. I lived with Margaret Doyle for 8 months. 8 months of pretending I wasn't scared all the time. 8 months of memorizing the sound of her footsteps in the hallway. 8 months of thinking maybe this time I wouldn't be temporary. She used to leave the hall light on because I couldn't sleep in the dark. When I had nightmares, she'd sit at the edge of my bed and press her palm to my shoulder. 4 in, she'd whisper. 6 out. I didn't know she was teaching me something I'd one day use to keep her alive. The night it ended was 3:15 a.m. in an emergency room. I'd thrown a chair at school that week. Another suspension, another call home, another adult deciding I was too much. I remember fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. I remember a social worker talking about better placements. I remember Margaret crying, but I don't remember her fighting. That's what stayed with me. She wasn't arguing. She wasn't demanding another chance. They told me to grab my backpack. When the van door shut, I looked at her through the window. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just waited for her to stop it. She didn't. I'm 23 now, and I'm the EMT who responds to 447 Maple Street. Her house, small county, 3 ambulances. I request that zone every shift. My partner Lucas thinks it's coincidence. It isn't. Margaret Doyle is 56, lives alone, divorced, no children. She calls 911 twice a month. Chest pain, tight throat, can't breathe. Almost always Thursday. Almost always 3 a.m. Last week, dispatch came through. Chest pain. 56-year-old female. I already knew the address before they finished. When we arrived, she was on the bathroom floor in a thin nightgown. Mascara streaked down her cheeks like something old had surfaced again. She looked smaller than I remembered. Fragile. I knelt beside her. Ma'am, breathe with me. 4 in, 6 out. I placed my hand on her shoulder. The same place she used to touch when I woke up screaming. Her breathing slowed. Vitals elevated but stabilizing. Another panic attack. We moved her to the couch. I made tea while Lucas handled the monitor. She stared into the mug like she was looking at something only she could see. It's always Thursdays, she whispered. Do you know why? I asked. Her eyes filled immediately. I had a foster son once, Rowan. Hearing my name in her voice after 12 years felt like being hit in the chest. I gave him back on a Thursday, she said. Signed the papers at 3:15 in the morning. I told myself he needed more help than I could give. Her hands shook. He threw a chair at school. I was scared of him. Scared I wasn't enough. The social worker said sometimes, loving someone means admitting you can't fix them. She swallowed hard. When they drove him away, he didn't cry. He just looked at me. Her voice broke. That look? I see it every Thursday at 3 a.m. I wake up and I can't breathe. She pressed her palms into her eyes. I wonder if he's alive. If he hates me? If I ruined him? My throat burned. Because here's the truth she doesn't know. For years I did hate her. In group homes. In placements that lasted weeks. In nights when I punched walls until my knuckles split and nobody came. I didn't become an EMT because she inspired me. I became one because I learned what it feels like when no one shows up fast enough. Because if someone was gonna save people, I decided it would be me. Lucas nudged me. We should head out. Before leaving, I flipped over our service card. My hand hovered before I wrote anything. I thought about that van window. About that look. Then I wrote, Rowan is alive. He didn't end up broken. He became someone who saves people. He doesn't hate you anymore. He understands you were overwhelmed. He forgives you. I stared at the word forgives for a long time. It wasn't automatic. It was chosen. Then I underlined it. In the ambulance, I couldn't finish the report. My hands were shaking too badly. 3 days later, Lucas mentioned Margaret called the supervisor. Not for an emergency. To thank us. That night, I parked across from her house in my own car. Through the kitchen window, I saw her sitting at the table holding the service card. She had placed it on the refrigerator with a magnet. She read it again and again. Then she pressed it to her chest and folded forward like something inside her finally gave way. Not panic. Not fear. Regret. The kind that doesn't fade with time. I cried in my car harder than I did the night she let me go. Because at 11, I thought she stopped loving me. At 23, I finally understood she just didn't know how to keep me. Next Thursday, I'm not going at 3 a.m. I'm going at 3 p.m. No ambulance. No uniform. No partner. Just me. I'm going to knock on the door of 447 Maple Street. And when Margaret Doyle opens it, I'm going to say, Hi, I'm Rowan. And this time, I'm not waiting for her to choose whether I stay. Would you tell her the truth face to face? Or let her live believing the note was enough?